Okay, today we are working on CO11. I can simplify expressions by squaring and using square roots. We are going to break down that PERMDAS that we've been talking about with the order of operations, specifically the E and the R, those exponents and radicals, the square roots. You did cover parentheses, multiplying and dividing, adding and subtracting in 5th grade. So now we are really working on the other parts of the PERMDAS. So let's complete our tables below to help you remember perfect squares. So fill in the table as I write it. We're going to start with 1 squared is 1. 2 squared is 4, because that's 2 times 2. 3 squared would be 9. 3 times 3. 4 squared, 4 times 4 is 16. 5 squared, 5 times 5 is 25. 6 squared, 6 times 6 is 36. 7 squared, 7 times 7 is 49. 8 squared, 8 times 8 is 64. 9 squared, 9 times 9 is 81. 10 squared, 10 times 10 is 100. 11 squared, 11 times 11 is 121. 12 squared, 12 times 12 is 144. And when I was your age, we only had to go up to the 12s with our multiplication facts. So you need to challenge yourself to learn those perfect squares that are bigger than the multiplication facts that you have been working on. So 13 squared would be 13 times 13, which is 169. 14 squared is 14 times 14, 196. 15 squared is 15 times 15, which is 225. And we have room for a 16 squared. 16 times 16 is 256. So now, going down to the square roots, we're going to do the opposite. So we take what that perfect square is, and we're going to divide it and find out which two numbers, if we multiply together, would equal it. So the square root of 1 is 1. The square root of 4 would be 2. The square root of 9 would be 3. Square root of 16 is 4. And you can see the pattern that we are following here. You're breaking it down to which number multiplied by itself would give you that perfect square. So you're just working backwards. So if I say what's the square root of 100, we know 10 times 10 is 100, so the square root would be 10. So those perfect squares make it easy for us. Just think of which two numbers will evenly equal, multiplied together would equal that perfect square. So you want to make sure you're filling in these tables on your binder sheet, because they'll be easy for you to refer back to when you're doing your work. So if you have the tables all filled in, you can refer back to it, and it'll help you answer a lot of these problems. So that is our exponents and our square roots with those perfect squares. We are going to be working on page 24 and 20. Nope, just page 24. Just page 24 in the binder sheet.
Yeah, just page 24.
Okay, remember I am recording this, so I asked us to keep our mics muted. So thank you for muting your mics right away. Let's look at the bottom. So our work for today, you can use those tables on the top. So you're going to, some of them, you're just doing the simple exponents or square roots. So squaring or finding that square root. But then down below, you have to remember the order of operations as you're doing it. So that top row is a little bit easier. You're just filling in from our table. The bottom, remember that PERMDAS. Do parentheses, then you do your exponents and radicals. Remember reading left to right. It doesn't matter which one we come to first. Then you're multiplying and dividing. Then you are adding and subtracting. I'm going to stop our recording.